Welcome to Omnidel, the world's first IoT-based learning and communication channel, where we use plants like this, to actually communicate very important issues with one and all. Now we are here today because you have Omnidel, a curious. This is what we call a curious. And a curious in this case is something that has a question. And the question, as you can see, is how is the number 144 linked to MSME safety? We are talking about occupational health and safety issues of micro, medium, and small enterprises. Now we know that occupational health and safety issues are really paid a lot of attention, specifically in big organizations. But when it comes to really smaller organizations, like really micro, medium, and small organizations, they often do not have the resources and the budget and the time to pay attention to all those nitty-gritty issues related to occupational health and safety of the people who are working there. Now, obviously, because they don't have the scale and the size to attend to this, but the micro, medium, and small enterprises together is bigger, much bigger than the largest organization that exists on the face of this earth. And yet, because they are all fragmented, so probably they do not benefit from the same kind of scale that any one particular organization has. Now, in order to overcome this problem, different organizations which govern these micro, medium, and small enterprises, like whether it's the International Labor Organization or within the country, the MSME department, central or different states, they have a lot of programs. Now here is an example of a program that I'm talking about here in this particular video, as you can see. Now this, as you can see, is for improving safety and health in micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises. This is a program that has been led by the International Labor Organization, but it covers a gamut of countries, including India. Now, what does this program have? This booklet is very detailed. The executive summary itself, now here's the executive summary, and I'll read just a line from it. It says there's a whole range of factors influencing OSH, that's occupational safety and health, in MSMEs, because it's one of the biggest global challenges. Now, if I go into it, different parts of this book, it's a whole fat book. But look at part 1. What is it talking about? It's talking about setting the scope. Why is safety and health in MSMEs an issue of concern? Now if I go on to part 2, very interesting, it talks about mechanisms for improving OSH in micro, medium, small enterprises. In part 3, it talks about moving forward with ILO programs. So there are a lot of programs on occupational safety and health in MSMEs. And then, as you can see, there is so much material in this. Now, however, even though this material exists, how many of the 86 lakh MSMEs in West Bengal, just this state, know about the existence of this book, or know about the existence of many such programs that exist today? Very few of them get the kind of awareness or exposure to things like this, and that's what this does to it. A booklet is very difficult for most people who work in an MSME to read and go through. But something like this, which uses the Omnidel framework, so if you just have a plant sitting on a plant library, on a plant gallery, which has a curious like this, which talks about occupational safety and health issues, and each plant talks about a different issue, and all that people have to do is they have to take their cell phone out and they Omnidel the curious, and just like you Omnidel this curious and you are getting to know about this particular video, in the same way, all the people who are working in the MSME segment, 135 lakh, that's 13 million people work in MSMEs just in the state of West Bengal. Think about it. How do we reach all of them in a manner that is effective? All that you need is sustainability, a concern for greenery, and connected with artificial intelligence curious, which takes you on to answers, intriguing questions planted on these, and they take you on to answers, beautifully crafted answers like the one that you're watching now, which talk about each of these issues. And they not only cover occupational safety and health, we can start there, but we can go on and cover so many of the other best practices. And unless these are covered, there is no chance that we from this state or this country will be able to bring in competitiveness within our MSMEs so that they can reach out to the global market and win the global market for themselves.